Hi, everybody.
Hi,
I'm Angela.
and I'm Lashonda, and this is a Black woman and a white woman walk into a bar.
Yay!
Yay, right?
It's
How are you
awesome.
doing, Angela? How are you feeling today?
I'm doing okay. Let me adjust here. I want you guys to see my t-shirt.
Ooh, it says
Brooklyn, Brooklyn.
loves.
Yeah.
Is that the North Face?
I don't even remember where I got it, but it's good. It's good. What does it say? I can't read. Favorites, our favorite artists.
Oh, I thought because of the way that the shape's involved in the logo, it looks like it's the North Face shirt, the
Right.
North
Yeah.
Face brand.
No.
It's weird.
No.
Anyway, it's cool though.
Thank you guys
Brooklyn
so much.
does love. I miss the love in Brooklyn, man.
I know. It's yeah. Wasn't your well? Ultimately, didn't end up being your jam, but you miss me mostly, right?
I'm sorry. Did you say something? Of course, I miss you mostly. I
Mostly.
miss you mostly, along with my other mostly missing friends.
Awesome.
All right, so let's get down to it.
Should we
Angela,
start? It's
I
my
think what we're going to do is we're going to do the cocktail, which is Angela's this week, and
turn.
I think that we have a special invited guest.
We have a guest. We have my best friend, and her name is Chris, and she's in the waiting room. We're gonna
Other
let
than
her in.
me, I thought that
Well,
was me.
you know, you know.
Anyway,
We're all best in one way or the other.
exactly.
All right, we're letting her
Okay,
in.
so this sounds good. So Angela, please go for it.
Let's see where she is. There she is. Hey, can you see us? Can you hear us? Chris? Woohoo. We have no volume on you. Maybe I have to unmute you. Hold on. I think I have to unmute you. Hold on, Chris. You're talking. We can't hear you. Stop. Stop. Stop talking. We can't hear you. Hold on. Chris, we can't hear you.
This is how every Zoom call on Earth
Oh,
starts.
she says Chris is correcting audio. Can you hear us now?
I can hear everybody.
Yay.
Can you hear me?
Now we can hear
now
you.
we can hear you. Hi, Chris.
So Lashonda's very upset when I introduce you as my best friend.
Oh.
Listen, she's been lying to people. Don't worry about it, girl. It's not on you.
Well, it is a hierarchical thing. I think that, that just is.
Yeah.
But
it just is.
Chris and I met in college.
Yes.
And yeah,
we met way after college, so
yeah.
Not that far after.
Before we get into that, I'm going to start with our cocktail so we can chat over cocktails. So Chris, tonight we take turns doing the cocktail. So it's my turn this week, and I'm making a spiced rum with maraschino cherry juice, and I'm mixing in the cocktail thing. So, and I don't have my what's he use it measuring thing, my jigger. I don't have that, so I'm just gonna guesstimate, which is what I do all the time anyway. If I can open the dang thing.
So which kind of, is it Kraken spiced rum? Or
no, it's not Kraken. They were out. Actually, the place that I purchased this does not. I don't think do they even carry Kraken there? I can't get it open. Hold on. This is my trick. Okay, this is good because this will show you one of my useful tricks.
Is it your own maraschino cherries, or did you buy those?
If you can't open something, use your mouse. I use my mouse pad. There we go.
Really?
Yeah, it works really well, actually. See, I got it. So no, I do make, and Lashonda makes her own maraschino cherries as well.
I make bourbon cherries.
Bourbon cherries, which is what I make too. But I did not make these. But I bought them. I bought them in a store, and they're actually very good. They're not those horrible. You know how those?
I don't eat those cherries.
They're horrible.
Yeah.
But I always wondered why they were all exactly the same color. And you know what? Because cherries are not. Cherries found in nature. I found out why. What they do is they bleach them.
Ew.
They
And then
bleach
they
them
dye them.
and then they dye them.
Kind of like hair, right?
Yes.
That's not what happens when people color their hair.
Yes. It's messed up. So don't buy maraschino. Don't buy the traditional. These are actually pretty good. They're called Bada Bing cherries.
You're gonna
Oh,
get some
nice.
product placement happening here, Ann.
I know we'll have to remember to write this in the description. So yeah,
We
they're
should
Bada Bing. They're made by Tillen Farms. And as it says on the jar, they're simply delicious.
You know, I love Luxardo cherries and I haven't tried these. So I want to try those too.
So yeah, these are good. And yeah, and because you can't do those other ones. You just can't. So because I don't believe in measuring things, I just do a couple spoons of the maraschino.
So is this rum and maraschino juice?
Yep. That's it.
Shaken.
And I had to do this because I didn't bring the lid over with me. So, all right. Okay.
Wow.
And let's just we got to put a cherry in there for Barney. And then so everybody have their cocktails?
Yes. Let's have a cheers for this
Our third episode.
Zoom call that we're recording for public consumption and consumption.
And if you were upset when I referred to Chris as my best friend, she was upset because I never told her about we were doing this. I said, I told you about what Lashonda and I are doing. She's like, no. Oops, I forgot.
Yeah, it's felt very seamless. So the second toast that we do each time we do this is to a person.
Mm-hmm.
And the person that I am bringing to this gathering of jollies and follies is Stacey Abrams.
Yay.
Stacey Abrams is a fantastic woman. She was a representative at she was representative at the Georgia House of Representatives from 2007 until 2017, at which time she ran for governor and did not lose under controversy. I'm sorry, she did lose under controversy. And so since then, instead of walking away with her tail between her legs to do nothing or to do very minimal, she started the New Georgia Project and fairfight.org, which are both organizations that are meant to end voter suppression. She has to date, well, actually, let me change that. She has, since the last statistical count, registered over 800,000 US citizens in Georgia to vote. That's so awesome. This cocktail is from Stacey Abrams. Cheers, Stacey.
And I don't think it's probably misrepresenting to say that she's largely responsible for Georgia turning blue this year.
Definitely, she registered voters who, in some cases were afraid that it was too much time to vote because of voter suppression and other things. She definitely reached out to people who typically didn't feel empowered to show up at the polls.
You know what I love about your choice, Lashonda, is that I have a tendency, as those of you who know me might agree, to be a little defeatist. Like if I fail at something, I'm like, oh, I guess that's not. But I so admire people who, when something doesn't work out for them, take that as an opportunity to move their energy, not give up, but to move their energy into not a different direction, but to make a pivot a little bit and just to say, okay, that didn't work out, but I still have this task in front of me. I still have what I feel is my calling. I still have to do my work. And so how can I do that? How can I make change? And I think I really admire her so much for that.
She's amazing. You should check out her TED Talk. I sent you a link. I think that we should post a link along with the video so that people know, who she is, and she, in her own words, she really did a great TED Talk about, 3 things to ask yourself before you start something. That's not the actual name of it, but it's something like that. It's like 3 questions you should always ask yourself.
That's great.
Twice,
Lashonda.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I cut you off, Lashonda. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say Thanksgiving.
So the reason that I asked Chris to join us is we talked last week about Thanksgiving and the difficult choices people are having to make in terms of whether they were going to invite people over, whether they were going to go visit people. And so I just thought, besides she's my best friend, so I love hanging with her. But
rub it in like alcohol in a wound.
And the three of us have spent time in my kitchen.
Yes.
Too,
yes. I've definitely met Chris on several occasions.
I miss seeing you. I'm grateful to get to see you since you.
I'm grateful to get to see you.
And I didn't get to see you. I don't get to see you when I visit Angela. I mean, back in the before time when visiting was allowed. And so I'm happy to see your face.
I'm happy to see your face, Chris.
I have good friends.
Well, see, and that's the thing about being Angela's best friend, I have to say. I don't understand it because she has so many friends that all are really amazing people. Somehow we're like sisters, and that, I guess, is the thing.
Well, you're an amazing person too, Chris.
Yeah.
Slapping you. I'm slapping you. No, Chris and I got to be friends. We worked together. We lived in the same off-campus dorm at UC Santa Barbara, and then we worked in the same cafeteria that was at the dorm where we lived. And she was my boss, and I was really scared when she got the promotion to be my boss. We were all like, she's so serious, and so like she's gonna make us work really hard. And then I don't remember why we decided to study one night, to study together. And we went to the library. We were going to go to the library, and I think we were there for like 5 minutes. And I said, "You want to go get a beer?" And Chris was like, "Sure." And I'm like, "Oh, cool, you drink." And then we were friends from there.
And then that was it. The rest is history.
Well, we ended up, we actually lived together. We were roommates for.
I think that, Angela, that time, those 5 years of living together probably sealed our fate together.
I think a lot of the reason why we're such good friends. I mean, I just love her. I just love Chris. I love you. And just so you know, when people meet you, when my friends meet you, they always say the same thing. Chris is super awesome. They all love you too.
That's cool.
But I think a lot of the reason why our relationship got cemented being roommates is that we never fought. We just got along. Because we're women and because we can communicate. Yeah.
No, that's not 100% true.
That's not 100%.
No, we lived together more like family, and so it was just it was extraordinary. I don't think many people have that experience that we had living together.
It was great. We used to have and to kind of swerve us into the food and the Thanksgiving conversation, we used to have colored food nights. Like we would pick a color. We would go, okay, let's have orange food tonight. And so we would have carrots and macaroni and cheese and tater tots.
Fish sticks, right? They're orange.
Something you can only do in your late teens and early 20s.
Yeah. Those are our 20s. We started watching Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune like when it started.
Oh God, that's sad.
That's
okay,
sad.
So here's another toast.
Cheers to Alex Trebek.
Alex Trebek.
Cheers.
Do you remember the Thanksgiving, Angela? that we had Thanksgiving, I think, at Lance and Bob's,
Mhm.
and there were 4 of us, and you cooked a 20-pound turkey.
Is that a lot or not enough?
I just know that when we were done eating, it didn't look like anyone had eaten anything. We had so much.
Jesus.
But you gotta cook a big turkey. Okay, so what did you do, Chris?
So Thanksgiving this year, in recent years, we've had a pretty small Thanksgiving with just the 4 of us. I have Ray, my husband, and my 2 boys, Andrew and Brendan. And we have been having Thanksgiving with our niece Lauren and her husband Nick, and Ray's sister June and her husband Jim. But we decided that we wouldn't even get that big this year, so we were just going to have the 4 of us at home. But then Brendan called and said he had a friend who he's dating who couldn't go home and was going to be in her dorm room alone for Thanksgiving. And she gets tested every other day. And so we had her also. But it was all a calculation, right? Of
How was it?
What's
How
that?
was it making that call, making that decision?
Well, I have to say, honestly, I think my risk tolerance is higher. I know my risk tolerance is higher than Ray's. And I just, it was more about like, is this the Thanksgiving I was expecting with the 4 of us? And will this add stress to our holiday? And so that's why that felt a little selfish to me. So as soon as he found out that she was being tested every other day, he felt fine with her coming. And so that was the deciding factor, because it's the right thing to do to welcome others into your home for the Thanksgiving holiday. And she was very grateful. She brought me a plant. And I said, well, clearly Brendan hasn't told you very much about me. And she said, oh, no, it's a plant that doesn't require any care at all. So we had the 4 of us, and I came to find out neither of my boys actually like turkey. So Andrew made a duck.
Wait a minute, you came to find, like, you just found out there now this year? You didn't know?
I've not been this vocal about it ever before. Andrew's disdain for turkey breast is large. Feels like it. And Andrew is a culinary artist. He has a degree in culinary arts, and he's currently working in a butcher shop in Boston, and has very strong opinions about food. So he got us a duck, and he also got us a rack of lamb.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I know, I'm
This all sounds better than turkey, but both?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. So
turkey who?
duck and the lamb, and I made because Brendan's girl he's dating, young woman he's dating, friend, is a vegetarian. So when I said, does she know we're having duck? And he said, she's a vegetarian. So I took on the challenge of making a bread stuffing that was vegetarian, but still had sausage in it. So I bought Beyond sausage. And
how was it?
it was pretty good. Sent it home with Brendan. I made some real stuffing the next
The
day
next day
when I made our turkey.
with your turkey.
So it was a nice day, but it was pretty quiet. It was nice to not have to have more company than that.
Yeah.
Lashonda, what did you, last time we talked, you were thinking of going to your cousin's, you hadn't decided yet. So what'd you end up doing?
I fairly quickly decided that I was most comfortable staying in my own home. It's not that I don't trust them. It's just that we haven't been around one another. And I just didn't want to deal with any potential risk that day.
Yeah.
You know, so I stayed home. I invited my pod friend over for butternut squash soup, which I make from scratch with the sage butter. And we ate soup. She brought pie. It was a nice light meal. Because I also don't eat heavy. I can't eat like that. Like it wrecks my digestive system to eat all that crazy rich stuff. I mean, I can eat one rich thing, but like not 5 rich things in one sitting.
Mm.
So we had a lovely, lovely time. We caught up on stuff. You know, she's fostering some kittens. I think all but one has been adopted, I think, out of the 7. So it's all but one kitten and the mom, who she's trying to find a home for too, who I would take if my cat weren't sick. But yeah, it was pretty easy, and it's exactly what I wanted. Like, so much of the Thanksgiving holiday is about like a very specific meal and what you must eat on that day. And the whole history is so wackadoo that I have been using Thanksgiving as a gratitude day, expressly for, you know, being grateful for being on this land, which isn't mine, which I might have toiled, but ain't mine, which is part of, you know, my whole discussion with the universe of like, wow, you know, there's so many things that people have done incorrectly, and yet we are still mightily and gratefully blessed. And so I am grateful for that. I'm grateful for all of the changes that my life has gone through in the past 2 years now. Yeah, 2 years.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. When did you move again?
No, the first weekend in November in 2018.
So how was your cousin when you told her you weren't coming?
She was fine. She's like, I get it.
Oh, isn't that nice? Have
Yes.
Get it.
Yeah, she was like, oh no. She was like, please. Well, we were talking off and on anyway. She was like, whatever your decision is, I respect it. She's like, because I get it. But I had actually bought 3 bunches of mustard greens, which was going to be my dish, and 2 bunches of kale. I will not eat all of those greens in a week even. So I kept 1 bunch of kale. We have this thing in Atlanta called, it's run by an African-American woman, entrepreneur, called Free 99 Fridge. So there are all these free fridges on the map. They're literally refrigerators and pantry items that anyone who needs food can go and get.
Oh, that's awesome.
You don't have to sign up.
I think I heard of it.
That's
cool. You don't need to do any of that stuff.
Let's make a note to put that in the notes.
Yes.
That's great.
And so I literally I dropped off those. I dropped off an avocado that was ready, you know, but that I wasn't ready for. And I dropped off, like, I had a case of bottled water in my trunk because periodically in Atlanta, we have the water main breaks or something, and they'll put us on a boil notice, like you can't drink the water. And so I made it a point to always have water in the house by bottle, but I also have like an advanced water filtration that's not a Brita. So I was like, well, let me just give them some of this water too. So I pulled out 10 bottles and just put them on the shelves where I could find room and left, you know. And I think that what the function of the woman that does this, I think she moves things around in case she needs to move them from one fridge to another, in case one of the fridges is more empty than others. So she asked that you send a photo of what you left, and I sent her the photos, and she was like, you know, thank you.
Where are the fridges?
They're all over Atlanta.
Are they in people's homes, or just like, where are they?
No, they're outside of restaurants or bars or whatever. And this particular one had a space for you to actually wash your hands. And then,
That's great.
there was those containers that hold plastic bags.
Mhm.
Yeah, so they have 2 of those. So you could literally grab some plastic bags and do your shopping at the free
That's
fridge.
cool. That's
It's
awesome.
What a
it's a
great
really,
idea.
really, it's a brilliant idea, and people are happy and proud to host these fridges. I mean, it's a
this,
really, truly.
Wonder if it could work in any city.
well, this is the thing I was thinking about was that, as anybody that knows me knows, I'm pretty left leaning. And I think that we need a social safety net. But I also think that conservatives have a point that, it shouldn't all come down from the top. And I think that, local communities know what they need. And so things like that are just like, that's awesome, because it's just the fact that somebody was creative enough to come up with that idea. I think that's great.
And there are people who are unhoused, and
Yeah.
there are people who are housed.
Yeah.
Housing and food situation,
I've never
you could still need.
I've never heard. So thank you. Unhoused.
Yes.
As
That
opposed to
is
homeless. Yeah.
such a different way of
Yeah.
thinking about it.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
That's great. Well,
So I felt like I wasn't wasting by doing that. You know what I mean? It was like, this has got to be good for somebody. Somebody's
Right.
got to need these. And so there could very well be a woman who doesn't have any money, who is a vegan, or who needs a green vegetable on her table.
Or just like mustard greens, right?
Yeah.
Because this is what we used to do when we were in community, when we were,
Well, and what do you do with the stuff that you don't need that's like that? Like, I mean, I'm thinking about a lot of things I have that I don't need, and how to properly pass them along.
Well, about on Facebook, there's that group. What's it called, Lashonda? Do you remember what it's called? It's like Free Share or something.
Recycle.
Yeah. Well, there's a new thing. Recycle's been
I don't
around
know.
for a while.
Marketplace.
I'm not remembering. I'll put it on under the comments.
We have in my town, I mean, I think a lot of towns have this. So we have everything free Belmont. And so, like, I had 2.5 bottles of hand sanitizer that we bought that we didn't like the fragrance of. So that's our privilege, right? We can not like the fragrance of a hand sanitizer and decide not to use it. But somebody else wanted it. So I posted it on there, and somebody picked it up from my porch yesterday morning. And so I didn't have to throw it away.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, I want to talk about, and I'm keeping an eye on the clock here, because
People are definitely also dropping off free period packs to those fridges.
That's great.
Yes, because if you were unhoused,
yeah, that'd be a nightmare.
I think you would need.
So my Thanksgiving, so I had thought about having a couple people over, and then I just decided, with all this stuff that's happening and the spiking and stuff, I decided I'm going to do as best that I can to just lay low. And Chris and I were talking earlier about how this is, in a lot of ways, this isn't playing, it's an claim the odds game. Like we all can be as careful as we want to be, but you can't be 100% risk proof. It's like we're all going to we have to make decisions. And so I'm just trying to if there's somebody that I want to see or something I want to do, I'm trying to just lower my odds in other places. And I just decided that I'm going to try to do the best I can to just kind of keep things to stay as isolated as possible over the next few months, since it sounds like we might have, there's promising news about vaccines. So I'm hoping, and I'm putting this out here, so the universe will hear, and maybe we get some positive energy. That
usually listens to you.
Well, I think it listens to everybody if they try to talk to it. But I'm hoping that I'll be able to have the birthday party this year that I wanted to have last year, because I finally asked, after like 8 years, I asked my nephew to move out on January 1st I gave him until March 31st. And he moved in with his fiance. That they got engaged after they moved in together, but they moved out. He moved out and they got a place 2 days before the shutdown. So, and I have my living room back, as you can see. So I was hoping to have a birthday party, but that didn't happen because of COVID. So I don't know if it'll happen. We might have to wait a little bit longer, but I'm setting my sights for having my birthday party. And I'm not going to, Chris, we're not going to say how old we're going to be because
No,
no, we're not going to say.
horrible age.
And yeah. So,
Unbelievable. But do you remember where we were when we were 30?
30, we were, let's see. Well, I moved back.
Angela.
We were 30. Yes, we were in Hawaii.
Yes, we were.
I was just trying to remember where we were living, but we yes, we went.
Anyway.
We spent our 30th birthdays in Hawaii.
I hope you
awesome.
get to have your birthday party too.
Yeah, that'd be great. And I hope you can come if I do. And Lashonda, that'd be awesome.
I would totally come if pandemic permitting.
So I ended up having my neighbor over. But I didn't, I cooked, I didn't want to do, I feel like if I'm going to have turkey, I want to have a whole turkey. I understand the turkey breast thing, but to me, it's like, if I'm going to have turkey, I want the big turkey. So I decided to do a roast chicken instead, which was awesome. And then of course, if I make a roast chicken, I have to make mashed potatoes and gravy. So I ended up doing that. But the best part of my day actually was a friend came over and we sat up on my roof. And it was really nice. It was kind of chilly, but it was nice. And we started setting our, whoops, we lost Lashonda. Shawn, are you there?
Sorry.
Is it your prop thing again?
No. No, it was actually my sister calling me. Stephanie, I'll call you back if you're watching or when you watch this.
So she'll get the message a little bit late.
That child.
But we decided we wanted to do a ritual to kind of start our, I feel like I want to set my intent. I'll just say this as far as the birthday number, it's a milestone birthday this year, which I don't want to say. So, but I wanted to set my intention for the next 10 years. And instead of thinking of it as a 10-year plan, I want to think of it as like, what would I like to have? What would make me happy in the next 10 years? Like what things would I need in my life to make me happy? So yeah, so I started that process and I've committed to doing it and plotting that out. So that was really lovely. So that was a nice way to spend Thanksgiving, and then being grateful for the friends that I have and the things that I have. So that was great. And
I think I
what?
called you that day.
Yeah,
did I jump in on your Skype or something? I'm sorry, probably. On your Zoom call? Maybe,
because we talked. Yeah. I said, oh, that's the other thing I did, which was not that many people signed up, partly because I didn't get the word out. But it was actually, I think it was a nice idea. I set up Zoom, but I said, you don't have to feel like, if you want to sign on, don't feel like you have to talk. You don't even have to do anything, but just so you feel like there's another person in the room. So it's mainly aimed at my friends who were doing a completely solo thing. So
yeah,
that was nice. So people seem to appreciate that.
There were a few Zooms that day that I jumped on, and all of them were fun and lovely. It's a nice thing to be able to do,
So, and in the interest of being mindful and we're trying to be better about our time. We're out of time. So we're trying to keep these down a little bit shorter because LaShawn and I we originally thought, well, let's do this for like 20 minutes or half an hour. And then our first one was 45 minutes. So we said, let's try to make it shorter. And the next one was an hour. So we're going in the wrong direction. So we're trying to be a little bit more mindful.
We can continue this offline though, yeah?
Well, thank you for including me.
I'm so glad that you participated. It was really great.
Yeah,
I'm surprised. I was surprised that you said yes so quickly. I was like, we were Zooming this morning because there's 3 of us who Zoom every other Sunday. And I didn't know. I just made Zoom a verb. So, but I didn't think I just asked you right off at the last minute. And I was surprised you said yes, but I'm very happy you did. I miss you. I miss Lashonda. I miss all you guys. It's just,
Miss you
this
too.
sucks. This really
And I
sucks.
miss the Chris visit of the year, where there are activities and fun conversations at Angela's table, and
Yeah.
usually some delicious snacks.
Yes, always.
I'm gonna have to do my, as I've said before, the problem in my kitchen is the lighting is really bad. But I'm gonna have to do, yeah. We're gonna have to do one of these from my kitchen because
Apropos.
it's Angela's kitchen.
Mhm.
So next week we're going to have, as I mentioned, my nephew and his fiance. They're both bartenders, and in addition to other things, of course. And they're going to make the cocktail for us. And then they're going to, we're going to talk about how that was for them moving in together 2 days before the shutdown. The fact that they're now engaged, which is, I have every faith that they'll work out, because they moved in together right before a pandemic shutdown. So if you can survive 9 months of that, 8 months of that, then I think you have good, yeah, there's good hope that you can you can deal with anything. And she's awesome. My nephew is awesome. And I'll tell you about how, I was gonna say how we met, which people are gonna think, well, of course you met him, he's your nephew, but he's not my nephew by blood, he's my nephew by marriage, but he's my nephew, so I'll explain that next time.
All right.
He's an hour.
Sign off
He's
so
an
you
hour
guys can
nephew.
do your sign off.
Okay. All right, so thanks, Chris, love you.
Love
Thank
you.
you,
Talk
Chris.
to you.
It was great to see you, Lashonda.
Cheers. Nice to see you too.
All right, bye-bye. So Lashonda, we just did our 3rd episode. That's crazy.
That's
This is
bloody
fun.
amazing.
This is so fun. I'm glad we did this.
I'm glad we did it too. I mean, it's a good idea. I'm enjoying it, and I hope that other people are enjoying our conversations and wanting to occasionally chime in. By the way, please hit the subscribe button below to
Yes,
Drinks on
definitely.
Us, which is me and Angela. And
yeah, subscribe and leave comments, because we want to make this something that people feel they want to come back to. So if there's something that you want us to do differently, we might not listen to you, but we'll at least think about it.
actual and factual.
Because we're both kind of stubborn. What's your sign again, Lashonda? No, I can't remember.
Not stubborn.
Oh. So you're not a Taurus then?
I'm a Leo.
You're a Leo. Oh, okay. Well,
I'm a bloody Leo.
I'm a Gemini. So yeah. So we want to get your feedback and forward this to your friends, because I think we'll have fun. We'll keep having fun here. So
yes, we will.
So next week we will be meeting. We'll be joined by my nephew Nathan, or Nate.
My nephew too. He's my nephew too.
Well,
he's adopted.
they both call you auntie, so.
Beautiful.
And Maricela. So yeah, I love being an auntie. Let's talk about that too. Let's remember to talk about that, Lashonda, because Lashonda and I don't have children. And,
No.
But I always say I don't have any biological children, but I have a lot of children. Some of them are older than me, actually. Yeah. But yeah, so we take care of a lot of people. So, yeah. All right, Lashonda, it's good to see you as always. I love you.
I love you back, and I'll see you soon.
All right, so this is I'm Angela,
and I'm Lashonda,
and together we're
a Black woman
and a white woman
walk into a bar.
All right. You have a good week. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Bye, doll. Okay. Take care.
Bye.